ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the last week of regular season. Showing this bracket every video, so we're gonna show it again. As of right now, playoffs is looking like this. We got me versus Croc, who came off a big win last week against Josh. Then we got the match that's been on lock for a few weeks now. Tanner versus Chris. Should be a hood classic. Next up, we got Josh versus Noah, which again, subject to change, but as of now, that's what we're looking at. And of course, another match has been unlocked for a few weeks now. The two champions of Big Juice, the Season 1 JC Queen City Quillfish, the Season 2 Last Minute Lanoons. No matter what, one of the champions is going to have to walk home just a little bit early in playoffs. And it's going to spice some things up, man. With that being said, start taking a look at the Week 14 matchups. Fellas, how we feeling?
Hey,
We're here, man. We're vibing. We're grooving.
vibing.
Ready to get into these games and matches. Ready to just see how the rest of the season's gonna play out. I'm really interested to see, cause the only slot left that's open is the 7 slot, which with Josh versus whoever he's gonna play, right? As I'm correct. No.
Croc slot is open, but very hard for him to lose it. But yeah, the biggest spot of contention is the 7
3 people
slot.
are fighting for that spot, right? Or 2, 3?
Yeah, it's
3?
B, Tabs, and Noah. They're all fighting for it.
Wow, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
so that'll be interesting to see how. It'll just be great to see how things are gonna end up towards the end here. So we can go ahead and get right on into it. We already had the first one done, right? Oh
Yeah,
you already
first
did.
one, me and Nick played our game today, or yesterday, one of
It was
these days.
yesterday,
Yeah.
Because Nick played his other game today.
Oh yeah, so yeah, we played yesterday. I mean, it's 11-0. I mean, kind of to be expected. Scarfical Fable got me a little bit, but I mean, yeah, I mean, tough game for Nick just in general. I mean, he didn't really have a whole lot for my walls, and I had one of the few things that could like hard wall low kicks and a Galarian Wheezing, so tough game for him. Again, talk about it more so in the week recap, but just
Wait, why? Wait, I thought this is week 14 predictions, right?
yeah, but we already played our game.
Yeah, but he played his last game was
We
right?
we played our game early because he wanted to.
Oh, so he just switched him?
Yeah, so he played his week 14 against me yesterday, but he played his week 13 against Preston today. So me and Nick's seasons are over. We're done.
Sorry. Okay, I just didn't know he switched him. All right,
Yeah,
never mind.
it's all good, all good.
Focus up.
Yeah. So technically Nick, by like scheduling wise, went out on a loss, but realistically he went off on a big win against Preston. So while this loss stings a little bit, I mean, kind of to be expected. Top coach versus second worst coach, you know what I mean? But let's not focus on that. Got a big win against Preston. We'll focus more on this, I guess, in the week recap. But again, not really much to be said here, so we'll skip on to the next one. Got Chris versus Croc. Now that's a big one because again, as long as Croc just doesn't lose super terribly, I should just fix this now while I'm looking at it.
Oh man. Yeah. Man, Chris versus Croc. I mean, I wish this like kind of still mattered for me, like so I could like be like as hype about it as I like as hype about it as I was for the other ones. But I mean, I think Croc kind of has like one real thing that's like always super scary, and that's the Dragon Dance Gyarados. But I definitely think with the way Chris has been playing, that Chris is gonna take that. I don't think it'll be I don't think it'll be like a like 2. I mean, I don't know. I think it just depends on like, cause we all thought that Josh was like super far ahead, and then randomly Gyarados got a Dragon Dance up and won, so that's always a possibility. But
You ain't gotta worry about that, big man.
I do think Chris has this one. I'll give it a 2-1.
I'm I mean, obviously I don't know what Chris has cooked, but I mean, it's pretty obvious in my mind that you have 2 physical sweepers and you have a Mega Banette that can either Will-O-Wisp or Destiny Bond them. Gyarados is going to be very limited in what it can do this week. Also, yeah, that's the big one. And again, just Chris, red hot. I don't think he wants to go into playoffs on a loss, so I would give this to Chris. And again, as well as Croc played against Josh, not to take anything away from Croc, because again, like we were saying in the last video, he was in guaranteed unwinnable positions and found it out. But to give a counter to that, Josh is that one coach where he just finds a way to lose these games somehow. Again, he's a top coach. Some days he just has that off day. Today just happened to be one of them in my mind. So, Croc, you did good, but this is going to be the real test. Because again, Croc plays me in the first round of playoffs. If he somehow beats me, again, I don't think it's very likely, but again, it is possible, so we have to mention it. Chris is a coach that he will most I mean, not, it's a 50-50 again if he beats Tanner or not, but this is a coach he could play in semis. So this is going to be a big game for Croc to prove not only is he a top coach, but also is he a chip contender, because again, he has to go through me, and he got bodied by me. So, number one, he has to prove that he can beat Chris, because again, Chris is the only coach that has beat me. So if he can beat Chris, he can prove 2 things. 1, that he's a top coach, and 2, that he's real serious for playoffs. Because again, this is a coach that he will probably have to face moving into semifinals, and he's already proven that he can beat Tanner this season. So again, if Croc can win this game, be a big statement game, and also if he wins this game, he's guaranteed for playoffs because he'll be 2 games over Woo. Or he'll be a game over Woo, even if Woo wins. So yeah, if Croc wins this game, he's guaranteed for playoffs no matter what. If he loses, as long as he doesn't lose too much in the differential department, he should be good. But regardless, I'm going to give this a 2-0 to Chris.
Okay.
Chris, any thoughts without spoiling too much on this set, or?
Do you think you 2-0 him?
I think it has the potential to be a close set. I mean, I think once I figure out what he has, I think I win. So.
Do you think it's be like another B situation where you lose game 1 but then win game 2 and 3, or?
Honestly, looking at my team into his, I don't know how he beats me game 1, because as long as, like, I mean, my win count for that game is if I keep Gyarados under reps, which is his only mon that can really do damage to my team. If it's, I mean, Bex maybe could, but I'm not really too worried about it.
My man's got some stuff cooked up, and we're excited to see for sure.
No, I mean, not even that. Just me just scoping it out, like just team looking at team. I'm just not too worried about it.
Keep you from accidentally spoiling something. That's why I'm.
Oh no, I'm not too worried about spoiling anything. I mean.
All right, so you're gonna
once you see my mons, you know what you.
So what do you think? You think you're 2-1 or 2-0? We need one.
Let's go 2-0.
All right, so we're going with the 2-0.
But I gave Croc a game, but I mean I could very much see it also going the way that they said. So.
Again, it doesn't. This game really doesn't matter if Croc loses since he's a game ahead of Woo now. All that matters is that he just doesn't get bodied. As long as Croc doesn't get bodied, he's fine. So again, in my mind,
yeah,
Croc has 2 ways to play this game. He can either just try to toxic stall everything just for differential sake, or he brings just uber hyper offense and just try to kill shit and just make the games like a 1-0 win for Chris or a 1-0 win for him. As long as he keeps the differential close, Woo just doesn't really have a good chance of catching up. So for Croc, just a matter of closing out that differential. That's all that really matters. So for next game, we got Woo versus Chase. Chase, game doesn't really matter that much for you anymore. Season's kind of over, but You can prevent Wu from making playoffs. Is that something you're looking forward to, or are you just kind of coming in this game with a very chill mentality?
I'll say I'm definitely coming to it with more of a chill mentality. I think the spiteful person in me would definitely rather see Wu go to playoffs than Croc, just because Croc beat me the second time we played. He's our division leader now, right?
No, Tanner's the division leader.
Oh well, all right. Well, I don't know. Wu's my dog, love him to death. So I honestly would rather see Wu in the playoffs, but I think the potential of like matches that we could get with Croc in the playoffs does kind of make things a little more interesting. I think he'll be more of a competitor than Wu. I just kind of like would see Wu there. But yeah, I'm kind of just looking at it like I'm just gonna go hopefully try to end my season on a win. If not, honestly, I'm not too. I won't say I'm not gonna be as sad about this and like at the end of my season this season than I was like last season, like with the tournament that we had to do. I won't be as sad.
That was actually kind of
I was already kind of checked out of the season before I found out I could still make it. Then I had to like recheck myself back in, but like the whole time like a lot of things just had to kind of go my way for me to do it, and I was like the odds of every single thing falling in my favor was a little like, you know, slim to none. So I won't say I've had one foot out there the entire time, but I was like kind of just I was here and I was playing and I was trying, but kind of just looking forward to new things next season.
For sure. And I mean,
kind of looking forward to new things next season. Yeah.
Didn't mean to cut you off, but for the coaches that are out, like Chase, like Biff, just you got 1 week left. Just if there's ever a set that you wanted to use that you didn't get to use, this is the week to do it. I mean,
yeah.
Johnny Adams, you got anything cooked up for the Johnny boy, bring it. If you want to bring like a Specs Whimsicott, bring it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a set you've always wanted to use the whole season, but you never found a situation. Or if there's just a Pokemon you haven't used in a while, like Dusclops, haven't used him in a while, give him one last shout.
I'm really bad at like finding new sets. I'm not a very good with tech. I'm not a very tech person.
Yeah.
Really.
For sure. I mean, yeah.
I kind of have like my play style and the ways that I like to do things, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll bring Toxic Spikes Nidoking.
Do that. Maybe bring some dual screens Regieleki, man. Who knows?
I think he only gets. Does he get both?
He gets both.
Oh.
He gets Explosion, Rapid Spin.
He ain't living one hit, so.
Hey, what you do is you just focus Ash him and screens, man. That's all you do. Or light play. You can just guarantee one of them gets up. Just guarantee.
I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun. I think. I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm getting beaten. To be honest.
All right.
I kind of feel like I'm losing this one, just off of team matchup. And like even team matchup plus just Lash for Specs potential and things like that. I don't know where Wu's mindset is. Like we said in the last videos, like he's a really chill dude, doesn't really overthink too much. And he has he's got a little bit of a bigger mind than I do. So he does cook up some things, and he thinks a lot more about his sets, I feel like, than I do. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I got 2-0'd. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. That's all I really have to say.
I'll definitely say team matchup perspective, your tanks in something like a Dusclops can't eat Elastic Specs. So I definitely agree with you that on team matchup, you definitely are on the rougher spot here. But, I think your season's been I said this to you a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to reiterate it now for the video because I forget if I said it on video or not. But you're 5-8. You should have beat me, and you should have beat Tanner. Right there, that's 7-7. You're 7-6, which means you're tied with Croc. And again, maybe if you showed up against Nick a little bit better the first time, you beat him, you're 8-5. I mean, it's a lot. Yeah. I know that's saying a lot of leeway for you, but it's 3 sets that were very winnable and just fell a little bit short. So in my mind, like, your season says 5-8, but it could have very easily been 8-5, and that's the big
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah, I think. I mean, the first game against Tanner and the game against you, like those Haxie situations are like the percentage situations are just extremely unfortunate, and you know that's just kind of what it is. I mean, even if I had those 2 wins, like I'd still be in the playoff race, so that'd be something. But I don't know. I mean, nothing can be done about it now. Can't really say much more. I am really upset that I don't get to play you again. That would have been a really fun game, and I was genuinely looking forward to it. Like I was really hoping.
I
that
was
gonna
too, bro.
give you a run for your money.
I mean, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now since you're guaranteed out of playoffs. But the first time I prepped against you, let me pull up my team real quick. The first time I played against you, I was life or where the fuck are you? No, it was earlier.
Yeah, scroll down. I saw Chase prediction against me. Yeah, right there.
So the first time I played you, I was scale shot life orb Garchomp, but going into the set, I was like, I think Scarf is just better because it allows me to outspeed the Cinderace and shit. I was like, nah, I was like, he has 2 fairy types, but I have Iron Head, I can deal with them. So like, I'll just bring Scale Shot. I can probably get the Scale Shot off. I was wrong. If I brought Scarf Garchomp against you, Scarf Nidoking's not a threat. Cinderace isn't a threat. That was literally the only change I was probably gonna make to my team was Scarf Garchomp, and I felt pretty confident doing so. I don't know what you had cooked up against me if you want to share, but for me, I felt like if I brought Scarf Garchomp and made a little bit of adjustments to my previous team, I felt like I had a really good matchup into you. But yeah, just that one thing, the first time we played, it bit me in the ass, and I knew if I did it going into playoffs, it was going to be a big bring for me.
I honestly, because of how my season was going, like I knew I really needed to like focus up and win some of my games. I wasn't prepping too far ahead, so I hadn't thought too much about your match, considering there was like 3 matches in front of me at the time. Or like when I found out I could, there was like 4 matches in front of me when I found out I could make it. I think some of the things I would have done differently, I probably would not have brought Regieleki. I probably would have brought like Lantern, Volt Absorb to make Zeraora do nothing, or at least on the electric aspect. Or maybe I would have had to step out of my comfort zone a little bit more with that game, and to put a lot of prep time into that. But I was really looking forward to doing that because I wanted to be challenged, and I thought that I could give you the best set out of anyone you could have faced in the playoffs. Just because how close our game was last time, which, I mean, you know, game 1s don't necessarily relate to game 2 sometimes, but I thought it was going to be a good game. So yeah, I really didn't have anything like crazy that I already had cooked up. I really I didn't get there. I just didn't get there, so.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't either, but the second we loaded out of that first time we played, I was like, bro, if I bring Scarf Garchomp, this set is totally different. And that was really the big one for me. Not really a whole lot of other tech. I mean, maybe I would have prepped for the Johnny Adams because you've been bringing it a lot recently, so maybe I bring Roser. No, I did have Roser. He just got bozoed by Savali, but...
Savali ground, yeah, man.
Yeah, but, yeah, I mean, the big one for me was Scarf Garchomp, but that's neither here or there. But, yeah, I definitely would have to agree. I mean, historically...
So what are you guys thinking about his...
for Wu? I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I definitely think you can take a game, but just the offensive pressure Houndstone applies to your team, like you really don't have an answer for it. So I think with the attitude you're going into it with, and I mean, Wu's attitude is not really that much different than yours going into this game, but I just think from a team matchup wise, like there's not a whole lot you can do against a Houndstone. So I think Houndstone's going to be racking up some kills this set.
It can, for sure. I think I have like a few things to make that thing a little obsolete, but we're gonna save that for the match.
That's what I like to hear, man.
Just some thoughts creeped into my head when you were talking about it, and I like when Plaz predicts against me because I tend to prove him wrong. So I don't know what Chris thinks. I mean, Plaz said he thinks I'm getting 2-0'd, and I said that it's yeah, and I said it's pretty likely. So
show me teams. I think
I think
don't
this is one
know.
of the few games Wu doesn't bring Suicune. You have a Whimsicott, Johnny Adams, a Lantern, and a fucking Regieleki. If he brings that Sui, bro, he's cooking something.
Yeah, I think you can win this game.
Interesting.
So what? So you think I'm winning what 2-1, 2-0, like what?
I think. Wait, it depends. Like, how hard are you prepping for? Like, are you prepping to win?
I'm gonna prep to win. Like I'm not gonna throw. I was joking about it earlier. Like I'm not just gonna throw.
I think if you can find a way. Honestly, I think Wu will win 2-1, but I think you can win if you find a way to beat Houndstone. The only reason I think he wins is because last respects. I mean, it's hard to bet against that, but I think if you find a way to beat Houndstone, I think you're chilling.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
just it's hard because your wall is a ghost, so he's getting fucking obliterated. But
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, I think you can win. Your team is super hyper offense. Super hyper offense.
And that's the
Yeah.
thing, because your team is super hyper offense, it's gonna force sacks, which means Wu can't get that much differential off of you. So again,
I was gonna say if I at least keep the differential close, it doesn't matter for him anyway. So
yeah, and that's a big one. So again,
That's an interesting one.
as I feel like if of
I'm
all
definitely
the
not, I'm definitely not getting 6-0. So.
yeah, I feel like of all the matches for Wu to have going into a last week where differential matters, you are probably the worst opponent to have, just
Because I
again.
will be hitting buttons.
Yeah, so Wu's really gonna have to be cooking in the kitchen for this one if he wants to make playoffs. But again, predicting Wu to win, whether or not that means he makes playoffs, probably not in my mind. But again, Croc beat Josh this week. Maybe Wu makes playoffs. Who knows? But again, we will have to see. Tanner versus New. How much time are we gonna
Alright.
spend on this one?
I mean, we know Tanner's gonna beat him 2-0. I don't want to sit here for 10 minutes and talk about New's potential because of Mawile. Tanner's gonna beat him 2-0. Can we just move on?
Yeah,
There's no point.
we can move on. I mean,
Yeah, Mawile is gonna go crazy.
yeah, Mowile's going crazy into a Mega Aggron game, huh?
He got stuff for that. He got a Victini and
Okay, we're skipping this. Okay, Mnez.
Boom Burst Dunsparce.
Wait, I fucked this up. Who does Mnez play?
Toxic Pexes. There you go.
There we go. Okay, so Mnez versus the Tonbridge Toxapexes. Now, this is an interesting one because I think just off team preview, this is definitely a Chin Pao game for sure. You can't get pranked by Sableye. Fighting type is a part psychic, so Sucker Punch is neutral. So again, Bandit Sucker Punch gonna be doing a lot. And again, yeah, I mean, just really no switching on.
Mouse does not have Hisui and Lilligant. He's got Serena.
Alright, and he doesn't have Comfey either, bro. No, you smell like fucking cheese, bro.
That's such an insult.
Alright, so while I change this, y'all talk. Do we agree that this is a Chin Pao game?
Oh, I mean, 100%.
Bro, every game is a
I'm
Chin
gonna
Pao
say
game.
yeah, every game is a Chin Pao game, really. But well, actually, we can't say that. Chin Pao kind of got put in a pack the last game it played, didn't it?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But I mean, I think like Plaid said, there's a lot of things like even like Slowbro's part psychic or that's Slow King, sorry.
So King.
Slow King, Armor Rouge, part psychic. I mean, yeah, Chin Pao really just kind of goes in and goes crazy. Espathra, him having Espathra now, kind of also just does a lot. Speed once he gets the speed boost, it won't matter about like the quirk drive or anything like that. If he can find himself in a good enough situation. So I don't see a way that like I don't think Biff's necessarily like a bad battler at all. I just think with the way Mnaz is playing and like getting ready for playoffs, I don't see a way that he doesn't just kind of overwhelm Biff's team.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, literally, we're just talking about Chin Pao and a little bit of Espathra, but even then, like, AV Belly, as long as you keep it away from treads, not much is killing it. Maybe a Mega Glade, but again, you keep it away from those two things. Not much is killing it. You got electric terrain. We saw it in his games against Noah earlier in the season in his divisional games. You give Belly that electric terrain, that shit is gonna be hitting. Well, I guess Biff doesn't have this thing anymore. I guess he has the fucking stupid thing. What is it called? Tatsugiri? I think this is probably a Tatsugiri game just for the culture. I mean, season doesn't matter anymore.
I didn't even know he had this Pokemon.
Maybe he brings it just for the culture.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, Dragapult and Chinpel, not many teams have answers to that, which is very clearly fair enough, but...
And now that you added spots, like...
Yeah, I mean, Mez, that trio is cooking everybody. Biff, season is already over. Been over for a minute.
Although, we're saying that, but B did manage to beat it with the trio.
That is true. Well, that's
So-
also because he had a Reggie steal. Treads,
he's
Yeah.
giving us
not as
hope.
bulky.
He's giving us hope out here.
I think it'll be a 2-0. I think it's gonna be a 2-0 MNAS.
I'd have to
don't-
agree.
I don't know how hard or how how hard the 2-0 will be. I think it'll be pretty convincing no matter what. I mean, I like Biff, and I would like to see him take a game or just play well against it, but I don't see MNAS not walking away with this one without too many scars. So 2-0 MNAS.
Yeah, I'd have to pretty much have to agree. Not much else to say.
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll move on to the next one. Now this is potentially game of the season caliber. And I know I've been saying that a lot the past couple weeks, but Tabs has to go all out against Josh. Has to. Has to win. Needs to win by at least 6 differential. And what I mean by that is, again, I mean not by 6, but Tabs really needs to win by a decent amount of differential to really stand out from 1B, and 2 to catch up to Noah if he is to win his game. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think, and it's this is a tough game. Because, again, I don't really...
This is a game where this is Fluttermane's last hope, in my opinion. I think this is a game where Fluttermane can go absolutely insane.
Fluttermane's last hope.
I really think Fluttermane can go crazy. I would like to see him use Skelly Dirge more, because I think he's brought it once since he's gotten it.
let me see, I have the thing up. He brought it
Has he
4
even brought it?
4 games. 4 games.
He has? Dude, I swear I haven't seen this dude use it. But,
I mean, you have to consider
I
4
know.
games out of the 14 games. He's brought
I
it to
think-
4 out of 14. It's very not... I mean, 4 out of 13, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think Tabs, if Tabs can find a way to not get overwhelmed by some of the walls that Josh has, and not let some of his mons if Tabs needs to not let happen to him what Josh let happen to himself today. Tabs just needs to not lose so much HP, to just be able to do a lot of work. There's gonna be tons of hazards going back and forth on both sides of the fields for this game. I mean, Tabs has the potential for spikes, toxic spikes, and webs, and stealth rocks. He's got all of them, and I think Josh has all of them too. So, I mean, it's gonna be crazy. Hacks are gonna be going everywhere. I don't know, man. Honestly, this one I really don't know, because both of them have been playing I feel like they're similar coaches when it comes to you just never really know which one of them you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Josh is a top coach, but he's lost some games. He lost to me. I mean, I don't know. And Tabs just has a thing of being ahead and just not, and then just throwing it somehow. So, and letting Fluttermane go negative, which is, I don't know. So I think this could be the game that Fluttermane just goes absolutely insane, and I kind of hope to see it. So I'm gonna give this I think I'm gonna give this a 2-1 to Tabs.
I agree. It's kind of said everything I was gonna say, and I'm glad you did. But Fluttermane, this is a great matchup for it. And two, just we were saying it earlier in his game against Croc, the Taboon passive. The fact that one is Tabs and one has it, like, this is gonna kind of how Tabs' game was this week against Woo. This is gonna be the game of who just fucking throws harder. And I hate to say that to Tabs because I feel like he genuinely has been playing really good this season. But there's just that one or two plays he just fucking monkeys. And there's just there's one or two plays that Josh just fucking monkeys. And it's going to come down to that one or two plays, who fucks up more. And I hate to say that with two coaches that are probably going to make playoffs or could make playoffs in Tabs. But I feel like that's what this game comes down to. Is just who makes the worst play at the wrongest time. And in my mind, just based on consistency, I feel like I have to give it to Josh just because he's been a little bit more consistent this season, and Tabs is a lot more. Tabs' thing is like here, Josh, like Tabs you can either get this Tabs or this Tabs, but Josh is like you can either get this Josh or this Josh. It's a lot more consistent, and I think that consistency is probably gonna pull through Josh. I'm gonna give it a 2-1 to Josh.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I give it to Josh.
Okay.
Okay, 2-1 again.
I think 2-1. Yeah, I think it's a really good game, but I think, like you said, Josh's consistency at the end of the game will pull through. Whereas I feel like as the game, like the longer the game goes on, I think the worse it is for Tabs.
I agree. That's what I was kind of trying to say. Like, I think if Tabs can't find a way to like efficiently break through, Josh's walls, he's kind of just cooked. I mean, it's not like saying like he's a bad battle or anything like that, but realistically, like the switch effect of like the fact that how crazy Fluttermane can go just might even make it more obsolete in the match. Because I mean, Josh obviously would prep for that and things. So it's really tough. But I gave it to Tabs because I think he has what he needs to be able to win this game. I just hope that he can prove me correct and break down Josh's defense to just kind of sweep through.
Alright.
Yeah.
Majority rolled over, so we're gonna give it to the Josh, but I definitely think this is winnable from either side, 100%.
I think this will be a close game for sure.
Alright, and again, I've been saying this past couple weeks, I'm gonna say it for the last time before the season's over. Even if Tabs is to walk away with this win, it only benefits Josh because now he has all the information he needs for playoffs, and they play the very next week in a best-of-5 set. And when you have that much information in a best-of-5 set, it makes it extremely hard for the worst team coming in. So, Tabs, even if you win this game, you have, I would say this Tabs' game against Josh in the playoffs, if he is to make it, that is probably going to be his hardest game in playoffs to win. Like,
100%.
Because I think Mez, he's proven he can beat. And JC, he had him beat. He had him beat. Just choked the game.
He really did. That was the Garganackle first game, but even with that, he really did have him beat.
Yeah. So again, Tabs, if he can just beat Josh twice in a row, big ask. But if he can, I think we're very realistically looking at a Taboon in finals.
Really?
I mean, dead ass. I think, again, we talked about it. He can beat MS. He's proven it. Only lost to him once, which was this season, which isn't a good look. But, again, they played twice, so they're 50-50 for the season. And, again, if he just doesn't choke against JC, like, the hardest game is Josh. If he can just get by him, finals is, like, right there.
I think if Tabs and JC play again, I think JC's winning that.
I don't know. I think JC's JC, I don't know. It's tough.
I think JC is like the more like I think he started getting used and like he started getting comfortable with his team like super late in the season, and he's only getting more comfortable. And I think with playoffs coming around, he's really gonna like put a lot more time into prep and like and really the tech and the fact that he's already played Tabs and the way he kind of came back and won before. I mean, you could say that Tabs could also like do the same thing. but I really think that JC. I mean, I think he's getting the dog back in him. He really is, and I like to see it. And I just think that if Tabs were to go against JC, I think JC would overtake him.
Fair enough. Alright, we'll move on.
Give JC a little bit of that. Like they were fucking. They're gonna be dogging on me, bro.
Jesus. Alright, let's go. Let's skip ahead. We got the V-Man versus Preston. Preston.
UOB next.
Preston, just like Chase, season in the coffins. Season ended after he lost to Nick this last week. Crazy game. But yeah, I mean, just to talk on the matchup just a little bit, just to be fair. I think Rain is good here because it weakens Entei, and you have a Flash Fire Heatran. So Entei, really not an issue this game, which is good.
Don't let that Dondozo and Jellison cook in the rain now, man. Stop.
Listen,
Stop.
listen, I'm just saying, man.
And B's got Arboliva, bro, the literal MVP of his team. He better change his team name to something Arboliva.
I'm just saying, bro. This Thundy is cooking his team.
You're not wrong.
If Thunderous gets an agility off this game, B, I don't know how B wins.
B does have Landorus.
HP Ice.
I mean, you're not wrong. I think that's
Again,
one way about it.
with the right moveset and potentially at the right setup, I think Thunderous just 6-0s B's team. Now, will that happen? Probably not.
No way. No way. It's
but
B,
again,
come on.
I think the way the seasons have been going, right? B has been climbing up really hard, and Preston, red hot the first half of the season, made those trades, hasn't won a game since. Now that he's not making playoffs, I cannot say with confidence that he's even taking a game off B. I think B's coming in really hot, and I think he really wants to make playoffs, and I think B's going to do it.
That's fair.
You said B's gonna do it. You said you think B's gonna win. Hello?
Chris,
Yeah.
you think B's winning?
Yeah.
2-0
Yeah.
or 2-1?
I think 2-0 actually.
Yeah,
2-0
I would
for
have
me
to
as well.
agree.
If what you said earlier was right, that he's just been prepping by himself the whole time, then I think he can take.
You know,
this
the only
because
game I helped him prep with was against MNAS. This game against you, that was all him. And
I
all
think
of his other games.
I think after he made those trades, I think realizing that he's made the trades that through his season has really thrown his mental. So I don't think he's as into it anymore. And after the game that we just watched, I just think B takes it. B's team is really threatening now with Jellison and Dondozo, and like he's got a lot of walls. And I don't think if they play like a long game, I don't think Preston's team can keep up.
The one thing I will say, kind of the same way how I expressed against Wu in Chase's game, how playing a hyper offensive team is the worst team to have when you need differential. When you, one, have a hyper offense team, and two, has access to last respects, B might win. Differential wise, that's a different. Two of his big walls, three of his walls in Corsola, Latias, and Jellison get minked up by last respects. Granted, he has Arboliva, which is immune, but with a Mega Beedrill, Pelipper, Heatran, you know what I mean? Like, I think this is going to be a sack-orientated game because just hyper offense, Basque Legion. And for B, while that means a win, which is good, you really need to hope that either Noah loses to JC or Tabs loses to Josh, or you get a good amount of differential under your belt. That way, even if they do win, you can sit comfortable. But again, I don't know how much differential you're going to be getting off a hyper offense team with last respects. But we'll move on to the last game. Last game of the season, man. Noah versus JC. How are we feeling about this?
Noah versus JC, I think is gonna be a really good game. I think Noah's got playoff on the line. JC just wants to prove he's a good coach. So I think this should be a really good game. Or not really prove that he's a good coach, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I agree.
Since the way this season's been going, I think he's up to prove some things.
I think actually I'm kind of more leaning towards Noah for this one. I think Noah has a lot that can shut down certain things on JC's team. Just kind of I don't know, shut down, but he like some of the things that JC has on his team that are normally like super huge like threats, I feel like aren't as threatening into Noah's team. I think it'll be super close though. I don't think it's gonna be like a cakewalk in either direction. This will be one of the more closer games I think that we've had. So I think I'm gonna give it 2-1 to Noah, but it's a really soft 2-1. Like I don't think it's gonna be. I think it really go either way. I'm just giving it to Noah because I think if Noah can figure out the things to stop JC, then it'll be to Noah. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I know Tanner and JC are doing some scrims earlier, and whether Noah brings these things or not, I don't know. I'm not gonna say them just in case he does bring them. I don't want to, obviously influence the game in any way, especially if it's such an important set. But I think there is some things that JC and Tanner were overlooking in their scrims, and I think that could very well come back to bite JC in the ass come game time. And I think
the problem with scrimming with Tanner is Tanner plays how he would use the team, not how maybe Noah would use the team. And Tanner, we all kind of know how Tanner plays, so I think that's really the big. That's the big thing. I hope JC doesn't do what I did when I was like, because when I scrimmed against Chris, like for JC's team, like I kind of just.
You hone it. That's the thing. Scrims are very double-edged because it makes you hone in on something, and then they don't even bring it, and then you just worry about literally nothing.
Yeah.
Well, see, I use scrims in a different way. I don't use it to predict what my opponent's bringing, but just to like practice
I just didn't
smacking those mons.
I didn't take the time to like look over other things after the scrim. I kind of was just like. I really just full sent it. I'm not gonna lie. For such a game that was very important for me, I really just didn't put as much prep into it as I should have. So I'm hoping that JC looks on things on his own and doesn't just take the scrims with Tanner like for what they were, because we all know. Well, we all heard how Tanner was reacting and stuff like that. I mean, it's hard to scrim with Tanner. I feel like.
Yeah, Tanner's has the most reliable scrim partner, that's for sure.
I haven't scrimmed with Tanner, but I think that's the thing. So yeah, I think Josh will probably take it, but I don't see a world where JC like can't win or anything like that. I think JC can absolutely win as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think JC, just based on who's hot right now, I think you give JC a 2-0 here, but I think based on team matchup. Oh yeah, JC's been red hot, and as good as Noah's, and as good as the season as Noah's been having, I think JC had, again, to counter what I said earlier, I think JC has a few things that can definitely put in the work against Noah, but I think due to the hone-in nature of that scrims can provide at times, just making you focus on certain strategies or certain mons, I think that can really come back to bite JC in the ass come game time, and I think Noah. He's very like, he's an intuitive coach. He knows how to bring some heat sets that can, whether they work or not, who knows, but I think he can definitely bring sets that, one, can catch you off guard 100%, and two, just, again, I said earlier, I think this is a coach that could easily contest for a chip one of these seasons, just not having a good season right now, but again, as long as he can win this game here, he's kind of guaranteed for playoffs. It's going to be a big game for him. But I'm going to give it to Noah 2-1, man.
All right. So I guess we're all kind of in agreement that Noah's 2-1 Noah?
I know me and you are, but Chris, how are you feeling?
I think I go 2-1 Noah.
Oh.
Straight out of belief. that he wants to make playoffs. Otherwise, I think JC takes this game.
So can you go back to the doc real quick, the weekly predictions thing?
Yeah.
So so we have
2 game 3s.
I was gonna see if we all predicted for the people who needed to make playoffs to win. That's what I was gonna see because we predicted me to win and we predicted Noah to win, but we didn't predict
Tabs.
Tabs
Tabs
to
is
win.
the only one
Well,
we
I
didn't
did.
predict to win.
I predicted Tabs to win, so
Hey.
I guess I predicted all 3 of them to win. But I don't know, man. I think these are some of the closer set games that we're gonna have towards the bottom half. The top half is like whatever.
These 3 right here are gonna be the big ones for sure.
Yeah, they're really. I think it's nice to have like super competitive games for like such important games as well, just because of the fun of it. So yeah. Anything else we need to go over? We got any more things to talk about?
I think for
we already
week 14 in specific, no. But again,
It's playoff season.
I think we just
Right,
lose. I think
right.
we don't gotta talk about. We went super in depth with the last week. We don't have to do that here. But I think Chase said some things on the last time we were on. Chris, do you have any rebuttals to what the Chase was saying, man?
I don't even remember what he was saying, but it
Basically
was
saying I was
some
running the
slander.
tournament. He basically said I was running the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, I can't see us making it. I can't see any of the games in playoffs on our side of the bracket not going to game 5. Like, not a single one. Maybe the only one that I can see is your game, your first game.
Okay.
I could see that one being a 3-1, but I think you not losing a game. I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
This is the way I was. Let me say it in a more calm down sense of what I was trying to like get after. Right. What I was basically saying is that Plaz is, I think, no matter what, is winning his game 1. Right. So Plaz is just Plaz put Plaz in the semifinals already. Right. And I was saying that no matter who he plays in the semifinals, that I think the games will no matter what be competitive because of the high stakes. Everybody's going to be calculating a lot of things. You know, it's a best of 5. I mean, a lot of things can happen over their stretch of potential 5 games, right? People can slip up, people can make miscalculations, people can get hacks, things like that. I think the games will be super competitive. It could come down to one Pokemon with 5 HP, but I think just because someone gets 3-1 or even potentially 3-0'd in like a playoff thing doesn't mean the games were not close or competitive. I think that's like what I was trying to say. I just thought that Plaz was gonna run the quarterfinal game, and then the semifinal. Like, I think, like if he plays you, I think that'll be a harder game than if he plays Tanner, because I think Tanner is just like Tanner's team is easier to prep for and against, than some of the things that you might have, and I think Tanner also is just more predictable than you are. So that's kind of what I was getting at. So yeah, I don't want everybody to think I'm just sucking Plaz's dick. I mean, he's a great player and all that.
Oh, okay, there we go.
But I just think that I don't know. I think there'll be super competitive games no matter what on the top half of the bracket. But I think it's not as like up in the air who will win the games. Like, I think the bottom half of the bracket, it's like up in the air. Like, we really don't know who's gonna go on the bottom half. But top half, I feel like Plaz is the highest contender. So that's really like the calm down version of the energy that I was bringing the other day.
All right. Chris?
I mean, as the number 1 seed, you should be the highest contender. But I don't know. I can't see any games in playoffs just not being in a five game series, not going to 5 games. I don't know. Once you learn your opponent's set, I feel like a 5-game series of Pokemon is just like once you learn what they have, you know how to play around it.
Yeah, it's very much just who's better at that point. Because, again, after game 1, and I'd say like halfway into game 2, maybe into game 2, you know everyone's set, and it just comes down to who's playing who better. And that's just going to be the tough part. It's going to be just who shows up on that day. Because, again, we've had 14 games this season. And at maximum, every coach has 3 games left. and that's all you got to win 3 sets. It might be best of 5s, but the best way to look at it is just win 3 games and you're the champion. And that sounds super simple, and it is way easier than said than done, but the best way to think about it is just you got 3 games left. Finish out those 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I guess if we were to make any, I mean, last week I said with pretty high confidence that B and Woo were most likely making playoffs. After this week, I will have to retract my Woo statement and say I think Croc is making it. I think it's gonna be me versus Croc, which leaves the only other open playoff spot is Noah's spot. I know I have Noah winning against JC. But something's telling me that B's making playoffs. And I think B's making it, man. I'm going to stick with my prediction. And I think B is making playoffs.
I think Noah makes it, I'm going to be honest.
I really want to see B make it, honestly. So I like the B man. I think I'm going to stick with the B man too. I hold B close to my heart, even though he was talking that shit today, bro, for no reason. Whole big close to the heart.
So I guess to go back, why do you think Noah's making it?
I think out of all of the coaches that I've seen, like this season or whatever you want to call it, I think Noah has had like the most unpredictable like brings up until like the later half of the season, but like the beginning half of the season, you really didn't know what he was gonna bring. He's really hard to prep against. I think his team hits hard. Well, I think Annihilate hits hard. I think if you don't find a way to stop Zygarde, it hits hard.
But are you not worried about his gaming against JC?
Yeah, not to say that JC's team doesn't hit hard, but if we're predicting, because in our predictions we predicted Noah to win.
Yeah.
And I actually think he'll win. So if he wins that game.
And if he wins that game, he's basically guaranteed for playoffs, because there's really no way
Same.
Tabs and B can catch up realistically.
I think when your back's against the wall and you need to win a game, you're gonna win that game.
Fair enough. It's just that simple. Chris
When
thinks
you're
he's
that
got
good
that
of a
dog in
coach,
him.
I guess I just
Yeah.
wait to see, man.
Yeah. I mean, just trying to think of anything else. I mean, obviously next week, next week, we will 100% know what the bracket is going to be. That way we don't have to do any more of this dumb bullshit. But for now, this is really the last insight we can give on the playoff bracket, man. It's exciting times, man. Last week.
Good luck to the coaches. Good luck to you and Chris Plaz. I'm looking forward to see how you guys play. I honestly wish like you guys were on the opposite sides of the bracket.
I do too.
I really wish you and Chris were on opposite sides of the bracket because
I think that finals would go crazy.
yeah,
that'd be
it
pretty
would.
fun.
It would go crazy. I think Chris is the hardest competition for you in this playoff, is my opinion. So I really wish it could be a really competitive final like that. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. So if you got anything else you wanna add, we can check it out. Whatever.
Curse, do you have anything? Because I have one thing I want to say that I'll finish on.
I think I'm just excited to play the games. I mean, the season's just been really exciting with all the new mons. I just can't wait to see it play out, really. I mean, my only thing in playoffs is, like, I don't know. I just hope people know that our prep is demon, bro. Just be ready.
Yeah. I mean, a few things I want to end off on. Kind of same sentiment as Chris. Just really fun season. Just glad to see who will finally be the winner, the champion. But to kind of counteract Chase's point, I will say, as much as Chris has given me a run for my money this season, historically, we got to talk about some things. Obviously, Noah and Josh can't really say much about, but for Mnaz and JC, Mnaz, I lost him in finals last season. Still bitter about that. Obviously, when you lose in finals, you got to be a little bit better. But JC, There's only 2 coaches I've lost to more than once in Big Juice. Chris, he beat me once last season and beat me once this season. And JC, he beat me twice in season 1. He beat me in the regular season and he beat me in the semis. Then we went 1-for-1 last season. So I've only ever beaten JC once. He's 1-3 on me. So JC historically has been a harder matchup for me. And Mnaz beat me in finals last season. So, I mean, if we're talking about historics here, if I see either one of them in finals, it's going to be kind of hard for me. But since we're on the same side of the bracket, I only have to worry about one. But either way, if either one of them makes it to finals, and I make it to finals, it could be a tough set for me. But, yeah.
I think if you see either one of those, it'll be JC.
Well, yeah, because we're on the same side of the break.
Oh no, he's saying against Mnaz and JC.
Mnaz and JC?
Like, honestly,
You think-
since they play each other first, I think that's what I said the other day. I said I think JC. I think even though like all the trades that Mnaz has, I think JC's team, kind of is like a good counter for a lot of the things Mnaz got. So I think if you were to see anyone in the finals between those two, I think it would be JC for sure.
Honestly, I don't know. It's hard to bet against Mnaz's team. Like, I don't know. His team is just it's OP, bro. It's crazy.
That is true. That is true.
This team is insane. And I think the only thing that's really walling anything is Garg and Slowbro.
I mean, you say that, but like, Garg just about all you need, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh,
I mean, we obviously know that Mnaz knows that. So if he finds a way to kill Garg, I mean, I really don't know what JC does. Mnaz's team is just, I mean, I'm not gonna say any moves or anything, but like, I think there's one guaranteed strategy he has to do.
All right, well hold on. We're gonna end off here, so we don't accidentally say something. But anyway,
I wasn't gonna say anything.
no, I know, but I'm interested to see what you're gonna say. But anyway, we're gonna get off the air so we can get a little bit more in depth off screen. 2 things. 1, we're gonna have the Week 14 recap when our Week 14's done, and 2, I already talked about this with Biff and I think a couple other coaches, but whatever coaches don't make the playoffs, so like Chase, I'll let you like run the gauntlet here, but I want you and whatever other coaches that don't make playoffs, whoever's interested, I want to see you guys make a video when the bracket is all done. When we know what teams are guaranteed making it to playoffs, I want you and whatever other coaches are around that night, or any other coaches that you want to be in a video with that aren't in playoffs. I want you guys to get together and make a prediction video and post your brackets in the bracket predictions channel.
100%. I'll get the boys together.
Yeah. So that's all I want to say, because I'll make my own. Obviously, I'm gonna have my own bracket predictions, and I'm gonna have myself winning. But just to see how everyone predicts the sets to go, whether it's 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, and who's winning what, interesting to see. I'm interested to see if anyone gets the bracket 100% correct. Probably not, but it'd be interesting. But yeah, that's all.
You mean like with records and everything, or just who's winning?
Oh, records and everything.
Oh, that'd be
a hard guess, but hey, we got Nostradamus maybe. Who knows? But we're gonna get on out of here. Any last words?
No.
Every show's a good day. Get ready to get locked in, man. And I gotta say for Tanner, you must come correct, or you must not come at all.
It's my boy.
Not everybody.
It's my boy Finch, man. We gonna get on out of here. See y'all next week.